Which of the following would be the initial impact on an economy if wages were to increase more than worker productivity? So, in this question, we're asked to identify which of the following would be the result or the impact on the economy if wages increased more than worker productivity. So, wages and worker productivity are both factors that shift the, the SRAS curve, or short-run aggregate supply. And we're given that the wages increase more than worker productivity. So because wages are a resource cost, that means that the higher wages would mean that the SRAS curve would shift to the left. But productivity does the opposite, where increased productivity means that the SRAS curve shifts to the right. However, we're also given that the wages increased more than worker productivity. So that means that the short-run aggregate supply curve shifts more to the left than it does to the right, meaning that the net SRAS curve shifts to the left. Now with this, let's look at the answer choices. A. There would be no initial impact since neither the aggregate supply curve nor the aggregate demand curve would shift. This is incorrect because we've just highlighted how the short-run aggregate supply curve would shift to the left, so that means there is an initial impact. So A is incorrect. B. Employment would increase, causing a rightward shift in the aggregate demand curve. This is incorrect, because if the short-run aggregate supply curve shifts to the left, that means that unemployment will increase, so the employment would decrease. Therefore, B is incorrect. C. The price level will increase, resulting in excess aggregate supply. Although it is true that the price level would increase, because if we were to draw or sketch out this curve right here, we could see that a shift to the left of the short-run aggregate supply curve would lead to a higher price level. It's not true that there would be an excess aggregate supply. Instead, there would be a lower aggregate supply. So C is incorrect. D. The short-run aggregate supply curve would shift to the left, increasing the price level. This seems to be the correct answer because this supports our conclusion that the short-run aggregate supply curve would shift to the left, and the result that this would increase the price level. So overall, D seems to be the correct answer. E. The aggregate demand curve would shift to the left, increasing the price level. This is incorrect because wages and worker productivity do not influence the aggregate demand curve. Instead, they influence the short-run aggregate supply curve. Furthermore, a shift to the left of the aggregate demand curve would lead to a lower price level, not a higher price level. So E is incorrect, and the correct answer is D.